Today on Public Eye News, Marquette Sheriff Greg Zeibert's truck is stolen and Governor Lemur extends unemployment benefits.
Later in the show, Scott Minshaw will have your weather and Jesse Salison will have your sports for the day. I'm Devontae Stein.
And I'm Scott Minshaw. Welcome to Public Eye News. Residents of Marquette County have been advised to follow new guidance from the Marquette Sheriff's Department. Greg Zeibert, the sheriff of Marquette County, has advised residents to lock their vehicles after his truck was stolen while he was doing a radio interview. The sheriff, who at first believed he was having a prank played on him, was able to use the truck's GPS to locate the vehicle almost immediately. And Marquette's newest K-9 officer was able to locate the suspect shortly after. The suspect has been charged with unlawful driving away of an automobile. The son of President Donald Trump will be making a stop in Houghton tomorrow as part of his father's re-election campaign. The event, being held at the Houghton County Memorial Airport, will open its doors at 3 p.m. and tickets are going to be on a first-come, first-served basis. Chris Gustafson, the Michigan press secretary for the Trump campaign, said, quote, "It's really just showing our commitment to the Upper Peninsula. Just recently, senior advisor John Pence did a tour through the Upper Peninsula. We're continuing to invest record amounts, and we're really looking forward to flipping Marquette County, and for the first time in 92 years, making the Upper Peninsula vote red."
A church tribunal has determined an accusation of sexual misconduct with a minor in the early 1970s against Father Frank M. Lenz is inconclusive. A process authorized by the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith was unable to establish guilt or innocence to the standard of moral certainty in the case. This accusation was received by the Diocese of Marquette in early 2018. At the time, Father Lenz, a senior priest at the diocese, was put on administrative leave effective immediately. Following review of the accusation by civil authorities, the case was forwarded to the CDF, which authorized the Bishop of Marquette to establish a special tribunal to oversee the case. Father Lenz has continued to deny the allegation. In light of the tribunal's decision, Father Lenz has returned to ministry with strict limitations in place by Bishop John Dolifer, which include prohibiting him from priestly ministry in parishes and schools. Over $1 million will be allocated to support Michigan specialty crop growers who produce fruits, vegetables, tree nuts, nursery plants, and flowers. Senator Debbie Stabenow made the announcement on Tuesday in a press release. These funds, which are from the U.S. Department of Agricultural Specialty Crop Block Grant Program, will support 20 projects through the state. Senator Stabenow said, quote, "Michigan's grown fruits and vegetables are not only a source of great pride, they're also critical for our state's economy. This new support will help Michigan farmers get their products off the farm and onto our plates during these difficult times," end quote. According to the press release, each of the 20 projects are targeted to help specialty crop growers sell more products locally and globally, protect crops from pests and diseases, and markets products competitively.
Governor Lemur has signed 2 bills that will extend unemployment benefits for Michiganders who are still out of work as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The bill, which extends benefits from what were only supposed to be 20 to 26 weeks, will now cover people until the end of the year. They were both sponsored by Republican Senator Ken Horn. Governor Lemur said, quote, "No Michigander should have to worry about how to put food on the table or pay their bills, especially during a global pandemic," end quote. This Saturday, the United Way of Marquette will be handing out 23,000 free face masks. The masks, which come in a packs of 5, can be picked up from the Upper Peninsula Medical Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Andrew Rickar, United Way of Marquette County's executive director, said, quote, "We're looking at different ways to reach out to the community and just help fill the gaps or fill the needs that are unmet, and masks are definitely one of those things that we can do. There's definitely a need, and we want to help keep the community safe," end quote. After this break, we will have your national and international news.
On the age of nature, understanding, scientists are discovering unusual approaches to saving the planet. By uncovering the complex connections between all living things and understanding the role that every creature plays, they're finding that nature has the answer to restoring our world.
Tonight at 10 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. Purdue Pharma, the company that makes OxyContin, the prescription painkiller that experts say helped start an opioid epidemic, will plead guilty to 3 federal criminal charges as part of a settlement of more than $8 billion. Charges include conspiracy to defraud the United States and violating federal anti-kickback laws. Purdue is admitting to violating federal anti-kickback laws by paying doctors through a speaking program to induce them to write more prescriptions for the company's opioids and for using electronic health record software to influence the prescription of pain medication. Purdue will make a direct payment to the government of $225 million, which is a part of a larger $2 billion criminal forfeiture. Purdue also faces a $3.54 billion criminal fine, though that money probably will not be fully collected because it will be taken through bankruptcy, which includes a larger number of other creditors. Purdue will also agree to $2.8 billion in damages to resolve its civil liability. Demonstrators marched from Kenosha to Milwaukee in their protest for social justice and their push to get people to vote. CBS's Kim Shine met them at their final stop at Red Arrow Park. They'd been traveling since late last night, and even through their march ended, they said that their movement that they are fighting for will continue.
A celebration in downtown Milwaukee. This is the end of a massive unity walk from Kenosha to Milwaukee's Red Arrow Park. The entire route, nearly 40 miles.
I feel energized. I feel like we have a crowd here that's ready to make change, and we're here for it.
The family of Jacob Blake, who was shot by Kenosha police officer Rustin Shesky, supported this event. Blake's uncle and many others called for justice in his case.
And I want all the elected officials to know the Blake family's coming after him.
And Blake's words go alongside what he and organizers say is the point of this march: voting.
The biggest stick people who are minorities and people in poverty can bring to people who marginalize you, the biggest stick they can bring to the battle is voting. Because at that point, everybody's equal because you only get one.
The event ended with a brief reception and encouraging words from local leaders. This moment, something many say they would do again.
I'd march with any of these people again. This is my family, my community, and I stand with them.
Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, has become the first pope in history to endorse same-sex marriage. The endorsement, which is being praised by some and angered others, came in a documentary which premiered this week. The Pope said, quote, "Homosexual people have the right to be in a family. They are children of God. You can't kick someone out of a family nor make their life miserable for this. What we have to have is a civil union law. That way they are legally covered," end quote. There are less than 2 weeks until Election Day, though more than 37 million Americans have already cast their ballot. Tomorrow night, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will hold their last presidential debate. CBS's Nancy Chen is in Washington with the latest.
President Trump rallied in Pennsylvania last night.
Hello, Erie. May I please have your vote?
It's his 8th campaign stop in the battleground state that both candidates see as a must-win.
This is an election between the Trump super recovery, which is happening right now, and a Biden depression.
Joe Biden's running mate, California Senator Kamala Harris, said the former vice president can lead the country out of the coronavirus pandemic.
The thing about Joe is that he has a deep understanding of how our government works. He has an understanding of what it means to manage a crisis.
More than 220,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, but a new report from the CDC says there have been around 300,000 more deaths in the U.S. compared to a typical year. The CDC says the virus was likely a factor, preventing some people from seeking medical help for other pressing issues. Health officials warn the virus is still out of control.
We're in a much worse place now than we were in March and April.
Here in Washington, the White House and Democrats are working on a $2 trillion coronavirus relief package, but Republican leaders have been hesitant to support it.
We'd have to see what it was first. There's been no deal announced.
CBS News has learned that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell warned the White House against going along with a large spending bill.
What the Republican leader is offering this week is a stunt.
The Senate will vote on a $500 billion bill later today. Nancy Chen, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
After this break, we will be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On the next Great Lakes Now, a Great Lakes disaster that you may never have heard of.
It was the greatest maritime tragedy on the Great Lakes.
Checking in on Kalamazoo River wildlife 10 years after the oil spill.
Here the animal is, it's put on growth, it's got a larger shell, it weighs more. So I know that all of that work that we did was worthwhile. And
does COVID-19 mean no inter-island basketball tournament in 2020?
Tune in Sunday afternoon at 3:30.
Hello and welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Scott Minchell and here's your weather update for the day. Looking at today's current conditions, it's cloudy with the temperature at 41 degrees and the winds are coming out of the west at 11 miles per hour. The pressure is 30.4 and falling. Looking ahead till tonight, it's going to stay cloudy with a low of 31 degrees, winds at west-southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. And looking ahead till tomorrow, we're going to see light showers throughout the day with a high of 41 degrees and winds at north-northeast and 13 miles per hour. Looking around the UP now, we're starting over in Sault Ste. Marie. It is cloudy and 46 degrees. Down in Manistee, it's 43 degrees and cloudy. In Escanaba, it's 43 degrees and cloudy. Menominee, it's 43 also and cloudy. Looking over till the other side, in Iron Mountain, it's going to be 37 and cloudy. In Ironwood, it's going to be 34 and cloudy. Up in Houghton, 37 and cloudy. And here in beautiful Marquette, 41 and cloudy. Looking ahead this week, we're going to have Friday with a high of 39, a low of 28 and rainy. Saturday is going to have a high of 39, a low of 30 and cloudy. And Sunday, we're going to see a high of 36, a low of 32, and some snow. Well, looking into the sports, what's going on, Jesse?
All right, last night, the Los Angeles Dodgers won against the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 1 of the World Series. The Dodgers' 8-3 victory in the series opener was led by Dodgers' own Mookie Betts. Betts led the way with 2 stolen bases, 2 runs scored, and 2 hits, including a home run in the 6th inning. Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Tyler Glasnow had a rough night and only lasted a little over 4 innings, while permitting 6 runs on 3 hits and 6 walks. Game 2 of the World Series will be tonight at 8:08 p.m. And also in the MLB, ESPN commentator and Olympic gold medalist Jessica Mendoza continues to write history for women in the world of Major League Baseball. Last night, Mendoza became the first female analyst in a World Series game. Mendoza had previously become the first woman to be an analyst for a nationally televised regular season game and a postseason game. When ESPN tweeted about her World Series debut, Mendoza replied with, quote, "These new opportunities will allow me to expand my broadcasting career while challenging me at the same time. I'm excited about everything that lies ahead," end quote. Last night, USA Wrestling announced that they will not have a team at the Senior World Championships in Serbia this December. USA Wrestling President Bruce Baumgartner stated that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, participating would not be in the athletes' best interest. This decision prevents athletes from competing individually as well. This is not the first time that USA Wrestling has decided not to compete in a world championship due to safety concerns. In 2002, they did not send a team to the Series World Freestyle Championships in Iran.
Over here for another interesting news story. Late last week, USPS mailman Fernando Garcia was wrapping up his shift in Norwalk, California when he heard a loud scream from a nearby house. Garcia found a man who had accidentally severely cut his arm with a chainsaw, and Garcia used his belt to apply a tourniquet. Last Friday, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department posted on Twitter that thanks to Garcia's quick action, the man is expected to make a full recovery. Garcia said he was just fortunate to be there and to be able to help. It is still unclear as to what exactly the man was doing in the house with the chainsaw at the time of the incident. Police said Friday they arrested a man suspected of stealing a ring-tailed lemur from the San Francisco Zoo, where officials rewarded the 5-year-old boy who had helped recapture the endangered primate with a lifetime membership. The theft of Maki, an arthritic 21-year-old lemur, made the news Wednesday in San Francisco and beyond when zoo officials reported the animal missing and found evidence of forced entry at his enclosure. 5-year-old James Treen was unaware of the headlines when leaving his preschool Thursday at Daly City, about 5 miles from the zoo, and exclaimed, quote, "There's a lemur," end quote. Markey scurried from the parking lot into the school's playground and took refuge in a miniature playhouse, as the school called police, who quickly alerted animal control and zoo officials. That's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.